Just 3 weeks ago, we were standing here previewing this exact same game, and in no way was this a walk-away, easy win for your team. Where have you grown the most since that win? Well, it is basically Christmas Day for the city of Lexington as we welcome in the 123rd men's basketball season. This is the true debut now of the Mark Pope era. This team cruised through their exhibition games. Kobe Brea has made a huge shift, said that he starts to take defense personally, and the entire team has really adopted that mentality, and it's really pushed them forward, especially in the NCAA tournament. 14 steals against Illinois. They're looking to carry that momentum against Tennessee. You originally opted out of playing the bowl game, declared for the NFL draft, and then all of a sudden on social media, we see y'all December 29th. You're going to be down in Jacksonville. Can you walk me through that decision? And now the Bengals are 0-3 for the first time ever in the Joe Burrow era. Now the SEC tournament is new to every single player on the roster. That is except for head coach Mark Pope, who knows what this environment is like. And what most people don't know is the key to a national championship is hitting a target that is the size of the tip of a ballpoint pen. Now the target's about 30 feet away from me here at the air rifle distance, one that I plan to hit right in the center. And did not. What is cool about this senior class is every single senior has played good minutes and contributed substantially to the success of the program this season. People have been waiting for this day all year, and although the weather is definitely less than ideal, I can guarantee that is not going to stop people from walking into those gates in just a couple of minutes. Still an exhibition game, but the stakes are a little bit higher this week, as well as the competition. Minnesota State are the defending Division II national champions. Well, Bengals fans were so excited when they got to see Joe Burrow and some of the other starters get some reps under their belt in week 1 versus the Bucs. But then in week 2, in a 27-3 loss to the Bears, we did not see any of the starters, and they are also not expected to play tonight. Especially tonight when they need some physicality down low. You have Amari Williams, but to have Otega Owe going downhill like he did in that Oklahoma game could be huge tonight. Hey everyone, welcome to sports, or should I say welcome to March. Sunday night, we learned the fate of the Kentucky men's and women's basketball teams in the NCAA tournament. Bengals actually in a similar position. They need to win a large majority of their remaining games to be considered for the playoffs. Starting today, hosting the Raiders at home. This one tied 10-10 with 35 seconds left in the half. Joe Burrow finds Andre Yosivas. He dives across the goal line to give the Bengals the 17-10 lead. But if you turned your TV off at halftime on Saturday, that's a mistake you now know not to make twice with this Kentucky basketball team. Cats came back from a 16-point halftime deficit. Victory is sweet. Literally, Kentucky's win over Illinois Sunday night sends them to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2019. And fun fact, this win busted the last standing perfect bracket. I say hills, I don't mean those short snippets of hills. I mean 400 to 600 meter hills, long hills that these girls are having to trek up and down. And there's a ton of them. There's not many flat areas. Jaden Quaintance of Arizona State. Now you might recognize that name. That's because he was originally committed to Kentucky under John Calipari. But when Cal left for Arkansas, Quaintance decommitted and joined the Sun Devils. People have been coming to Pete Rose's statue all day today to mourn and to pay their respects. And it's so clear by just the statistics that he was one of the greatest baseball players to ever grace a diamond. But something that we could tell with all of the emotion here today is that the city of Cincinnati will mourn the loss of his character and his blue-collar grit, something that the Queen City could always resonate with.
He meant the world to us. We both are kind of the same gritty, determined people in life, and a lot of those characteristics we learned from Pete.
Well, I mean, he was the embodiment of not a lot of talent, but a lot of determination, practice, will to win, and that's what you want in any kid that's, you know, coming up playing baseball. And I embodied his spirit in everything I did. I played baseball. I'm 65 years old. I played all the way up till last year. So I'm doing head first slides at the age of 60 because of him. You know, people thought I was crazy, but that's just, you know, there's only one way to play, and he knew how to play, so.
People leaving roses, hats, jerseys, drinks, notes, and more on Rose's statue. and many talking amongst each other, reflecting on how grateful they were to have been in the stands where Rose played.
First time I knew who Pete Rose was, I was 5 years old, was at Crosley Field. My dad took me to a doubleheader. I was like 5 rows behind the dugout, and I stood behind the dugout just watching him and Tommy Helms play catch. And then after they played catch, he walked to the dugout and said, "Hey, kid," and he rolled the ball up to me when I was 5 years old. And from that point on, I was hooked. So that was pretty cool.
I was here when he broke the record, so we just heard it again on the radio coming down here, and every time you hear that, you just remember sitting there and watching it, and him out on first base, and Marge, and bringing the red Corvette out, and all of it. It's just like it was yesterday.
These are memories that will be forever cherished, and people in the Queen City hope that the next generation of Reds players will embody Pete Rose on and off the diamond.
He was an icon. He was Cincinnati. And then for the younger players that's going to be playing in 2025, that means step your game up for Pete Rose.
John Calipari has been the head coach at Kentucky for 15 years. He started in 2009 after he was hired away from Memphis. Calipari replaced Billy Gillespie, and when Cal came in, he turned the program around right away, going 35-3 in his first season. He then led the Wildcats to a national championship in 2012.
This is not about me. This is about these 13 players. This is about the Big Blue Nation. But I don't know of any team that has sacrificed for each other like this team, and they deserve this moment. They really do.
After that, Calipari helped his team earn national runner-up honors in 2014 and Final Four appearances in 2011 and 2015. After his 2014-2015 season, Calipari was elected to the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame.
Well, I have sat in those seats in awe as my heroes were inducted into this hall. This is surreal for me. This seems bigger than me.
Cal has also sent a lot of talent to the NBA at Kentucky. 47 players to be specific, 35 first-round draft picks, 23 lottery picks, and 3 number-1 overall draft picks: John Wall, Karl Anthony Towns, and Anthony Davis.
With the first pick in the 2012 NBA draft, the New Orleans Hornets select Anthony Davis.
Davis, who blossomed so late in his career and now is the #1 pick. You see him embracing his college coach, John Calipari.
However, the fans want more than just NBA prospects. They want championships, and that's where Calipari has faltered these last couple years. Kentucky hasn't been to the Sweet 16 since 2019 and was upset by double-digit seeds in the first round of the tournament twice in the last 3 years, including this year to 14-seed Oakland with a team he promised everyone was, quote, built for March. In 2019, Calipari agreed to a lifetime contract with Kentucky. Under the terms, he could have been owed $33 million if Kentucky had dismissed him. But there was no buyout if Calipari left for another job, which is now the case as Calipari is set to be Arkansas's new head coach. Calipari finishes his time at UK with an overall record of 410 wins and 123 losses, or a 76.9% winning record, and is the second winningest coach in UK basketball history behind Adolph Rupp.